Hello everybody, welcome to a trail outside of Sedona, Arizona. The bike is looking good. However, I'm going to treat it with a little bit of medicine, some seafoam. I mainly bought this for my generator as it's been gumming up. But the bike, I'm gonna throw an ounce in the tank when I fill it up, just because it's nice to actually have something to clean out the head of the piston and everything like that. Yesterday I got back from a hitch with the Arizona Conservation Corps as I work there now. Now this gas can has an Amazon Scout, and I drill a little vent tube in it so it doesn't suck to refuel this tank anymore. So from what I have seen with jet skis that my family owns, seafoam works pretty good to clean out fuel systems. And this engine's been running like a clock. It's good to put some treatment in there at least every once in a while, just to, gonna add about an ounce. All right, that should be plenty to get started. And just in case you're wondering, I already did sunscreen. In Flagstaff, it's much cooler. The sun is still strong, but it hangs around the 60s at this time of year. But down here in Sedona, or just outside Sedona, maybe a little lower even, yeah, you can definitely feel more of that Arizona heat. I'm gonna make a dedicated video on this, how to carry your mini bike on your vehicle, but I installed a hitch on my Jeep, and I have a my same mini bike rack that was on my RV, because it's still technically a class 3 hitch. Basically, I took out all the old rusty crap that was holding in kind of what was supposed to hold in any previous hitches, but this is actually a hitch from an '01 Cherokee, so it's solid. I lubricated the chain, pressure's good, we're looking good. Man, the hardtail on this thing just has no remorse for anything in the cargo bay. second time this happened. Yeah, lens cap on this thing. It's not really working right anymore. Yeah. I'm really hitting this camera hard. Luckily and unluckily for me, after this, the bike had a little bit of an accident, but it was near the Jeep. Luckily, this only happened when I was literally right next to the Jeep. Almost felt something, but I hit something, and this was already bent back, and it kind of finally came off. It dented the engine casing, so the fan kind of, yeah, it scrapes now, but that's, I'll just bang that out. But this, I have a couple of options. I can either find someone with a welder to re-weld this on, because I don't have a welder. And even if I did have a welder, I would want to get this done right enough by someone with more experience, more or less. Second option, though, or a second option, is to actually just have, for this side, a foot peg, have a bolt-on option. I don't think that, it's not going to be better, it's not going to look as good, but it might be cheaper. And for me, being that this is kind of just that redneck style bike for me, I don't really, you know, care that much. The engine doesn't look like it's moved aside, so I think pretty good there. I'm just gonna bang that out. I don't know why, man, every time I'm taking my bike on these kind of trails these days, I just break something else on it. It's frustrating. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and I don't like it. Luckily, this isn't, what I'm about to do isn't necessarily, it's just not a difficult fix. It's not, yeah. Fan looks okay. Obviously, it was chewed up a little bit, but it's, you know, no fins are missing. It's still completely functional as a fan. It just, you know, got a little banged up right there, and I'll just hammer that out. Okay, that's sort of getting better. It doesn't look pretty at all, but it's getting sort of better. I'm not looking for the absolute beauty here. All right, that should do. Let's see real quick. It'll turn. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Oh my God, I'm destroying this bike, this poor bike. This poor bike is just getting eaten alive by where I take it. So this is pretty common for mini bikes when you take them out into actual, like, when you take them out to like crazy trail stuff, this is what they're gonna deal with. All right, now I'm just making sure that starts up. Oh. Yuck. I wanted to get the job done right in the first place in this case because it was the foot peg, and the foot peg, of course, is very important for riding the bike, so I found a welder in Sedona called Bob's Welding and Steel Supply and decided to go try it out. They did the job in 20 minutes, maybe a little less than that, for $25. I couldn't be happier with the job done. Oh man, they beefed this up a good bit. That's nice. I should have got this done a while ago, but yeah, it's looking good. That's plenty enough strength. It's stronger than the other side. Even though the other side's not had any damage. It's already, I know it's already gonna be stronger. They put a little piece of rebar in the inside of that, so then they could basically kind of tack it all down. Now it's nice and strong. Again, if you're in Sedona, they're a local business, and there's nothing wrong with going and getting the job done with them. They did a fine job. Sorry if I look disheveled, as I am now back off the grid. I was at a Motel 6 for the past 2 nights, and that was nice to take showers and all that, but now I'm back in my natural habitat. I do want the Go Power Sports rear suspension kit for this thing. It would be an excellent mod. 300 bucks for it. Give it, you know, probably more than that because of shipping and overall taxes, but it would make this bike really freaking capable. The main problem with no rear suspension, other than comfort, because honestly I've gotten used to that, it's the fact that every time it hits over a big rock up a hill, it jumps, it loses traction. So you end up losing capability and stability and overall performance off-road. And this is obvious stuff, but of course when you're talking on a cheap mini bike, every little thing helps. And these tires are great. They have really good traction, really knobby. And overall, I'm really liking the way the bike feels. The 224 is holding up good still. And the torque converter's been holding up fine. Been keeping that lubricated, keeping my chain lubricated. Yeah, just keeping up with basic maintenance, keeps small engine stuff running. One thing I forgot to mention about the rear suspension kit is that once you put that on, you can lift the whole bike up. You can put the shocks up really high, and you can put spacers in the front forks. So the whole bike being higher will make it far more capable than just having rear suspension alone. It'll actually be able to get over larger rocks a lot better. I mean, even the reason why my foot peg over here came off is because this bike is low. The seat height's low, and the ground clearance is actually more like a scooter. I mean, oftentimes with the pedals at the level state, a bicycle has more ground clearance than this thing. So overall, I think a lift along with the rear suspension is going to be so good for the whole capability of this bike. Welcome to Quartzsite, Arizona. This is the boondocking capital of at least the US, as of course in January it gets pretty packed here. It's April, late April, being April 21st, I do believe. Not that crowded here at all, of course. I camped down on the BLM site last night. It was pretty cool. I was kind of out of the way of the other campers that were there. Plenty of space, especially at less than peak season. But I will say, this is a cool desert RV town area. I'm digging it. And you can stay here in an RV or car living lifestyle, whatever you want on BLM land. Camp out here for, legally speaking, up to 7 months in one spot at a time if you pay the fee, which is, I don't know if it's still $180, but that's what the consensus is from my understanding. I've always wanted to just check this place out, so I came out coming yesterday. I biked around the campsite and just checked out some of the builds I saw just driving past them. It is definitely a pretty unique place, being that so many people just kind of live off the grid, or you know what you would say is off the grid. As you can probably hear, I have my air conditioning on full blast, and it is working pretty darn good, but it's gonna be 97 today. It's already 90, had no problem warming up to that temperature very quickly. And I can definitely understand why it's crowded in January, where other areas of the country are, you know, -20 or something like that, to where it's not -20, it's comfortable 60 to 70 degrees during the winter. And even if it gets cold at night, still, there isn't really a winter in comparison to other areas of the country where they have their winters. So this is why so many people, for a very cheap price, might I add, you pretty much have to pay for gas to get down here, either to be able to buy continuous food or money for food that you're already stocked up or whatever. Just come down here for a few months in the winter, and millions of people do that over the years, and this place gets bustling. Definitely brings a little bit of money into this town. I noticed that a lot of people, either who are still here, at least from what I've seen, are just retired folks who always camp, and that's pretty cool. So definitely a cool place to visit, but I'll be heading in the direction of Flagstaff again today, as I do have another hitch coming up on Tuesday, and it is Sunday now. So I'm gonna, instead of heading all up in one day at the last minute, I'm gonna take my time, kind of camp along the way, as there's still lots of places. I mean, Arizona itself, is just so many places to camp. I think next off hitch, I'm gonna stay at my RV near the town of being Flagstaff, and kind of just put on some forest land for a few days. As that sounds nifty to me, it'd be cool to get some space again. I'll maybe pick a spot where I could ride my bike near into town if I need anything else.